Welcome back, and thank you for joining us on our next adventure as we continue to explore the beautiful island Bohol. We have so far reviewed 3 amazing resorts that you should consider visiting, as well as the Bohol's Virgin Island. If you have not seen our video reviews, click on the links in the description below. So today, we will try to answer 3 questions. Are Chocolate Hills worth your trip? What is all the fuss about Chocolate Hills? And should you bring your drone with you? But being a doc, I could not help to add few very important notes when it comes to the health and fitness requirements that you should be aware of before you commit to make the trip. But let's start from the beginning. If this is your first time considering a trip to the Philippines, you are probably overwhelmed by all the beautiful places that you could visit. After all, Philippines consists of around 7,107 islands, depends who you ask. But once you start zooming down on the individual islands, you will realize that each island is known for something special. Okay, so if we are talking about Bohol, the first thing that usually comes to our mind is Chocolate Hills. It's that simple. Chocolate Hills are probably the most iconic landmark when it comes to Bohol. When somebody says Bohol, for everybody who has ever visited Bohol, the image of Chocolate Hills automatically pops up in their mind, pretty much in the same way that you think about Eiffel Tower when somebody says Paris. If you visit Bohol and you don't go to see the Chocolate Hills, you probably should not even tell anybody that you went to Bohol. Trust me, if they visited Bohol, the very first thing that they will ask you will be something like this: did you go to see the amazing Chocolate Hills? So the answer to our question, what's all the fuss about a chocolate Hills, is simple. It's one of those things that you just have to cross on your bucket list if you come to Bohol. Alright, so by now you have done quite a bit of thinking and finally made a decision to go and see the hills that are covered in a green grass during the rainy season but eventually turn brown during the dry season. Hence the name Chocolate Hills. But wait a minute, where should you go? There are so many. There are at least 1,260 major hills over an area of more than 50 square kilometers or 20 square miles. Well, if you look at all the beautiful pictures and videos taken of the Chocolate Hills, you will notice one common theme. Well, you guessed it, they're all taken from the bird's perspective. Therefore, to get the best view of the Chocolate Hills, you should really get as high as possible. Well, okay, not that kind of high, if you know what I mean. Well, you can climb one of the hills, but unless you are in for some major hike, we don't really recommend that. There is a better way. To actually help the tourists see the beauty of the Chocolate Hills, the government built an observation deck that will give you an amazing view of the Chocolate Hills. Okay, but wait a minute, how do you get up there? Nope, there is not an elevator that will get you to the top. So here is my first health tip that most people that talk about Chocolate Hills fail to mention. Make sure that your knees, lungs, and heart are in some form of shape, whatever shape that is. Meaning, if your knees are on fire or you are out of breath when climbing even a flight of stairs, you may want to think twice about climbing up those 214 steps. But if you only have some minor knee aches and pains, you can take multiple breaks along the way and admire the beautiful scenery. It will take you longer to get up there, but you will make it. Another tip is to rub a little bit of Tiger Balm, Bengay, capsaicin cream or other similar creams into your knees, calves and thighs before you go for your trip. The warming sensation on your skin will improve the blood circulation in your leg muscles and knees so that they can better handle the workload. It is also a good idea to do that later on before you go to sleep to ease the pain at night and the next day. Once you make it to the top, you'll be rewarded by the beauty of the view opening right in front of you. Now if you want to get better close-up views, we suggest to bring a camera with telescopic lens. But even without a lens, you will have all the hills literally on the palm of your hand. We are pretty sure that you will love the beautiful scenery. It'll be the best 50 pesos spent on an admission fee. Now keep in mind that it can be quite windy up there, so if you come during colder season, dress appropriately. So now the question is, should you bring your drone with you? After all, the best pictures and videos are definitely from the drone. Our answer is actually yes and no. Unfortunately, the observation deck is a no-fly zone, but you might be able to fly your drone from there if you get there very early in the morning. Just a hint. But we would probably recommend for you to fly your drone from somewhere along the roadside, where it's much easier with less risk. Also, keep in mind that it is quite windy up there, so a small drone might have trouble flying from the observation deck even if you try. You might end up chasing your drone back in Manila. Alright, so what is our verdict about Chocolate Hills? Well, we think that if you are in Bohol, you just cannot miss on visiting the Chocolate Hills for all the reasons we just mentioned. We also do believe that the amazing views from the observation deck are definitely worth it. It is one of those things that should be on your bucket list of places to visit during your travels in Philippines. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time.